Hello, welcome to Gemstone Tarot. 30th of January. What's that? 30th of January 2026. And it feels like, I don't know if you get this, but it feels, well, I know from the weather forecast there's going to be a deluge of rain, but we're at that stage where it hasn't rained yet. You know, when you're like, you can feel it. It's like a sort of rain hat. Pushing down. So anyhow, we're in the kitchen, itchy nose. We're going to look at ampersands. Ampersands. Those are all different kinds there. And then there's like a thing at the bottom, as the actress said to the bishop. Who knew? I've always been slightly fascinated by am I saying it right? Ampersands. Ampersands. Okay. The ampersand, the squiggly symbol that means and, was found on a wall at Pompeii. Most things were. Which means it's been around since at least the eruption of Vesuvius in AD 79. The Pompeian ampersand was a ligature, meaning two letters combined to make one glyph or character. In this case, the E and the T of the Latin et, meaning and. That's so cool. And I think that that is figure 2. There. In typography, which my mother studied at art school, so maybe it's like a genetic thing, because I love typography, ligatures are principally aesthetic. For example, the ligature FI avoids the inelegant spacing of just F and I. Oof. But the Pompeian scribbler wasn't being aesthetic, just efficient. The ampersand wasn't the first time saving glyph for and. Around 50 BC, Tiro, secretary and scribe of the statesman and rhetorician Cicero, who I studied at university as well actually, invented his own device, Fig 1. Now that is efficient. That came to be known as the Tironian et. Don't you just love that? What's that? I am just doing the Tironian et. I wonder if that's in shorthand and stuff. For a long time, this symbol was used in heavy Gothic script known as black letter typeface, used in Gutenberg's Bible. Don't you just love as well the names? I love the name. I would love to be able to choose the names of typefaces as much as nail varnish. So you know when you go down and you try and get all the different, it's like, oh my God, Helvetica. I mean, what a name. But Tiro's creation was fighting a losing battle against the lithe ampersand. Black letter was already being used less frequently, and by the 18th century, the Tironian et had all but vanished. Today, it only survives in Irish and Scottish Gaelic, where it's called the Agus and the Agasan, respectively. For many years, folk etymology promoted the misleading claim the ampersand was invented by and named after the French physician André Marie Ampère. It made sense, Ampère, and yes, but it had not an amp of truth to it. While the ampersand's true inventor will never be known, the word's origin is. It's a contraction of amper se and, a Latin-English hybrid that essentially means this symbol means and. Gosh. Up to the 19th century, the alphabet was taught with the ampersand as the 27th character. Was it? Children chanting their ABC would conclude with XYZ ampersand. Do any of you remember or know anything about that? And when those last syllables were said quickly, they became ampersand. But school children being school children, it went by other names. And in its Dictionary of Slang and Colloquial English, 1905, John Farmer mentions a few variations. An pussy and, Pussy Ann, Ampasti, Ampazad, Amziam, Ampazed, Ampazend, and a personal favourite, Zumzizan. Farmer also notes that being at the rear of the alphabet, ampersand was also slang for the posterior, for your butt. See, there's so much. Doesn't it just like boggle your mind? Like the tiniest thing, like an ampersand, which I now can say properly and couldn't before, so I've learned something today. You wouldn't think there was like reams of history and school children giggling and things changing and typeface and Pompeii. It's like, anyhow, we're using the Nightshade Tarot because I feel like this is where we're at with it about to rain. And also I love the dog. And that's the back of it. What's that called? Is it a lotus floret or a fleur de lis? I don't know, something. Not that clever. Right, okay. That's going to be our first card today. Oh, I love this guy. It looks like this guy, the Nine of Cups. I can't read his face either because the Nine of Cups, Jupiter in Pisces, is like your heart's desire. And I just don't know. What do you think? Let's have a caption competition. What's he thinking? I'm going to pitch in. Maybe it's one of those where he's getting married and his wife's choosing the crockery for the wedding breakfast and he's like, how many more of these weird cups do I have to look at before I can go and have a beer? There you go. But anyway, Nine of Cups, Jupiter in Pisces, what is your heart's desire is an important question, and it's changing because the next card we get is the World. And when we get the World, it's like we know that we're kind of coming to the end of a cycle, but we're also starting a new cycle. So what you want in the larger sense, not in the, I really would like some Chunky Monkey ice cream tonight, but more in the, you know, long-term whatever, out there, is changing. It's evolving. I nearly said evoluting then. That's a new word. It's evoluting. It's evoluting. Right. I'm going to take one more. No, it doesn't feel like you. Hang on. Ooh, the rain's starting. God, it's just so grim. Birdie. What birdie is that? Oh, pigeon. Wood pigeon. That's what they do, but they do it down the chimney pots. It sounds really cool. Okay. Eight of Swords, mental limitations. What might be standing in your way? Okay. What little worries, little thoughts, probably insecurities are stopping you from seeing kind of the bigger picture? Okay, your own bigger picture, the closing out and the beginning of. We also get another 8. So we've got the 8 of Swords and we've got this lovely 8 of Pentacles. What steps need to be taken? And often when it's the 8 of Pentacles, dare I say, what boring steps need to be taken? You know, it's like if you want to learn French, well, then you're going to have to do some Duolingo every day. You know, if you want to, I don't know, play the violin, you're going to have to practice your scales. It's the kind of what I would call the boring stuff, what disciplined people would call, you know, work. But whatever it is for you, these are the sort of whole and 3D steps that you need to take to get there. So don't forget those. And then we get Temperance. I love Temperance as a card. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. And it's like, don't get too caught up in the heart of it. Don't get too caught up in the head of it. Don't get too practical, but don't be too much of a daydreamer. Okay, let's have an oracle card. One of these. Let's have a magic mosaic oracle card. No. No. yes. That's a great card to get. The path will twist and turn, but... Excuse me. Should we start again? The path may twist and turn, but you will reach your destination. That caps the reading nicely. I will see you tomorrow, and don't forget, what's he thinking? Namaste.